5 Strikers is a good game. Now let's take off the mask of being a professional YouTuber and talk about, well, what it actually has in it that makes it such a good game to me. Also, sorry about the headphones. I grabbed these for streaming, but right now my laptop is out of commission and my computer isn't set up, and there's someone else talking in the other room, so this game is fun and has, well, a lot to do in it. And is on more consoles than the original. A little background for you. I am one of those people who didn't even know about Persona until the 5th game. However, after that, I did not buy this. I actually got the couple PSP games on my PlayStation Portable. I got the first one's remake, basically, and the second one's English on the PSP one, because for some reason they figured since you have the PlayStation 1 ISO, you'll be able to play it on here, and we won't have to re-release the first part to this, which is just bad business. And then I also got Persona 3 Portable. I liked them. Like, there's nothing I can say to deny that. I really liked them. Now, we get on to Persona 5, as I did not play Persona 4, Persona 4 Golden, or any of that. Persona 5 I did not buy until a couple weeks ago. Not because I hadn't played it before Strikers, but because one of my other friends had it and I played it with them. So, I didn't think it mattered. However, I got the greatest hits version used at GameStop for like $5. I mean, come on, a red case for Persona 5. But around the time of the pandemic, I bought Persona 5 Strikers. Now this is a game I could get behind, as it is a Muso game. Now, while I don't know the definition of a Muso, I can say my definition is you against an army of people. Now that doesn't fit every single fight in the game. However, it fits most of them. A lot of the fights in this game have a bunch of enemies due to the fact that A, it's built more like a Warriors game, and B, because it's just really cool to see how the Phantom Thieves fight in real time rather than in turn order. I mean, that's basically what this game is, showing us how the Phantom Thieves really fight. And also talking about 2 new characters, along with focusing on Haru more. Good job, developers. You took a thing we were disappointed in the first game and made the second game in the canon timeline instead of the royal timeline. Fix that. After that, they also focus on Sofia and Zenkichi. Now I will be getting into a couple spoilers. Sofia is an AI that somehow managed to get into the metanav and the metaverse. Well, along with that, another AI who I forget the name of. Am I really a good reviewer? Probably not, but who I forget the name of for some reason. Um, well, it is starting to pop up and making sure that everyone has what they need, but it is also sort of controlling the population. And it is not a game about AI taking over the world because it's showing the benefits and the downsides of it. It's not just, oh, AI is scary, you're on your phone way too much, sort of thing. It's nuanced and enjoyable to listen to. And part of that is because the characters are back and they're treating it as if none of the romance has happened, which is fine by me. And along with that, they're also treating it like an actual summer vacation by going through with an RV and having fun. And you really get those summer vacation vibes, which I think were really needed during the old pandemic. And Strikers is one of those few games where no matter what mode you're on, you're still gonna have a fun time. I swear to God, Alice was the hardest boss for me in that game, though. And that's partially due to the fact that I didn't have as many powers, but she still gives me a struggle. Then we also have to talk about Zenkichi, cop who's trying to do his best to make ends meet and make sure his daughter is safe from all this crazy persona stuff that he didn't originally believe in. Well, as soon as he figures out what the metaverse is, he starts thinking he's lost it, and then can hear Morgana. And that was a pretty interesting reaction because, on one hand, Morgana's like, I'm not a cat, I am a cat, I'm not a cat, I am a cat. It's different each time, it feels like, every time he refers to himself. But Zenkichi is just this guy who's lost in basically this world of magic and minds and just changing people's desires. Well, his true colors show when the Phantom Thieves are not only going to be arrested for a murder that didn't take place, or it did take place, they didn't do. Basically, they were trying to incriminate a whole group of people instead of actually doing their jobs as cops. I'll let the social commentary talk for itself, especially if you're Japanese and somehow watched this video. And part of that also ends up being Zenkichi basically gets himself arrested because of what's going on. He fights for the Phantom Thieves and then gets arrested for it. So, with Zenkichi arrested and the Phantom Thieves basically on the run, they cannot exit anywhere. They can only be in a basically hidden base for Zenkichi to solve the murder of his wife. And he solved the murder. His murderer is too powerful. So, yeah. After that, they go and prove themselves innocent. And then they start realizing what's going on. Something I've withheld from now is that they met a woman who created the app everyone's using. Well, she also created Sofia and that app, Emma. She created Sofia and Emma. And you learn that she is the villain, which is pretty obvious from the first time you met her, so, you know, it's not exactly hard to figure out, but it is a nice plot twist because she has been helping you throughout the whole adventure. I will wait for my hand to steady. After all of that, you start realizing that more and more people are basically calling Emma a god. Well, if you know anything about the Persona series or anime in general, when something is thought of as a god, it sort of becomes one, and it becomes a whole thing where Emma is slowly reaching godhood. Very similar to the main antagonist in Persona 5. And the dilemma is, as it tends to be in Persona 5 games, self-identity versus getting everything you want. So the Phantom Thieves fight Emma and say how she can't be God. Not because she doesn't have the physical ability to be, but that humanity should choose for themselves. And they shoot God in the face with the power of friendship. Like, very anime, very fun, though. And honestly, I wouldn't change it. After that, the main villain is forgiven, in a sense, and Sofia goes with her creator in order to sort of teach them both about the real world and show more about hearts. And it's a really bittersweet ending. To be honest, the plot summary I did doesn't do it justice. If you haven't played it already and are interested, get it, whether on Switch, PlayStation 4, I think it's on Steam. Yeah, if you can get it on Steam, go ahead and get it. I got the Founders Edition, which had the DLC included. I'm really upset that the DLC did not include like any crazy clothes or something. But that's only Japan exclusive. In America, they want us to have consumables, which I didn't touch because I can create food in-game. Yeah, you can cook in-game, and it's kind of really broken in the sense of items. You can only get certain items, a certain amount of items per day at a place, which is understandable, but you can go in and out of the metaverse and restock up on them. So, cut to me going in and out of the metaverse every few minutes to just make a bunch of LeBlanc curry and healing items. And they wonder why I play this game on easy. I didn't cheat, it's just having that exploit basically means that it's really easy to just stock up on SP and HP filling items. I did play the game on easy because that's what I'm comfortable with. If you're saying I have to play it on hard because I have to, I have to be the hardcore gamer to give a proper review, you're looking at the wrong channel. Unless it's a game that is like multiplayer, like this Dead by Daylight, or Friday the 13th, the game. Let me move my stuff. Or it doesn't have a selection like Breath of the Wild, Pokemon. Apparently I have Starlink. And of course I play Minecraft on normal mode instead of hardcore, but that's more due to the fact that I don't have it on Java. So, yeah. It's not a fact that Persona 5 Strikers has an easy mode that made it so simple for me to pick up and play. Because even with an easy mode, eventually it does get hard. Like I said, I had an issue with the Alice boss fight, and I'm specifically only mentioning the first and final bosses. A, because they're the most memorable, and B, because those two spoilers are the most obvious. Like, obviously Alice is evil. Obviously, whoever the main villain is evil. Um, and it's that sort of thing that just makes the game so interesting. It blows my mind because not only are you seeing the Phantom Thieves in a new light, that light being real time strategy rather than turn based, which each have their merits. Obviously, you still have the list system and you can pause the game to eat like 30 curries or whatever, but I feel like this has the best chance of having that hybridization system that it has. Um, Especially with summoning your personas, meaning that the game world pauses while you go through the abilities, which is a lot more considerate than Final Fantasy 15 was, from what I've heard. And just having all of that be the case, I would say this is the most definitive Muso game, and my favorite in the series of Persona so far. Hopefully, Persona 6 isn't a console exclusive this time. Atlas, please make it happen. You've already released games on other consoles. I know PlayStation has some sort of exclusivity deal with you. Make the other versions something like a light edition. A light edition without removing the core elements of the game. Even if it's a different art style on other consoles, that would be fine. We've seen from Strikers that you can handle the processing of Persona 5's graphics. I mean, it runs at 30 instead of 60. Oh no, my game isn't as buttery smooth as others, but hey, I'm having a lot of fun, so what does that matter? The only games that really have issues with the Switch are online games that aren't fully supported by Nintendo, like Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th, Starlink, honestly. Like, Minecraft works fine, but Minecraft then drains, like, all of your battery because for some reason it's the most demanding game in the world. It's just frustrating to see this game being thrown away by so many people who are fans of Persona in the wait for Persona 6. Not because it's a side game, I can do with or without side games. I'm a fan of the Kingdom Hearts franchise, so I understand that not every side game is as important as others, like Dream Drop Distance, that just summarized everything up until Kingdom Hearts 3, which, eh. The issue is there is such a beautiful story that when summarized doesn't sound as good as it actually is. And that's the issue. People will be going in it expecting a harder game. But like most Persona games, it's not about that. This is Kidneys the Myth, signing off. I finally did that review. Now what?